Our clearing agents under the aegis of the Association of Nigeria Licensed Customs Agents have embarked on a one-day warning strike today to protest the 15% National Automobile Commission levy on used imported vehicles. Bamdele Ayemibo, export consultant, joins me to help us understand this development. Bamdele, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Help us understand what is playing out here. I know I've had this conversation. There was a strike not too long ago by the same association. Now it's happening again. Bring us up to speed. Help us understand this.
Going on is the fact that the freight forwarders or the clearing agents are stressing the fact that they need to pay additional 15% commission, the National Automobile Commission fee or levy on imported vehicle, and their concern is that this should only be applicable to new vehicles, not fairly used vehicles. Knowing fully well that a number of the fairly used vehicles, a number of them have been spent a long year, and this will increase the cost, and that will of course make it difficult for them to sell in the local market.
But what was the previous import levy for the used imported vehicles? Obviously, it wasn't 15%.
This was not part of what they pay at all. According to a number of them, this is usually paid, or they expect this to be paid only for the manufactured goods, or sorry, the finished one, or the new vehicles, not the fairly used vehicles coming into the country. And the major issue is the fact that, look, someone buying a new vehicle knows that it's new and they're expensive and they're willing to pay for it. But those that are buying fairly used are just trying to get an automobile to be able to move around, and they really will not be able to pay if it's too expensive. And considering the fact that the inflation in the country is really going very high now, and the cost of import has gone up because of the exchange rate, they feel this is really going to be overkill for them if they are going to be have to pay this charge in addition to what they already pay.
Speaking about in addition to what they already pay, I know that the Nigerian government recently reduced import duty on cars by up to 20%. Was this across the board for both fairly used vehicles and brand new vehicles?
Yes, for vehicles generally import.
Okay, so this would be 20% plus an additional 15% for fairly used imported vehicles. So does this also apply to brand new vehicles?
Yes. So they said it should only be applied to brand new vehicles and not fairly used.
So if this
there are laws, of course, coming to Nigeria.
So if this is the case, it will mean that importers bringing in fairly used vehicles will pay the same amount as those bringing in brand new vehicles into the country.
Exactly. And a number of them are saying that, look, you will use this to encourage people to bring in goods through the neighboring country, which is already happening actually, and it's making the government to produce a lot of revenue and making them to be able to cross the border, bringing those goods into Nigeria, and which means more often than not, it's likely the government will not be able to get the revenue expected on those vehicles, even though they are going to be used in Nigeria.
Well, do we know what the explanation or the reason or the rationale behind this is on the part of the customs? Has there been any statement on the customs justifying this levy?
This is a National Automobile Commission levy. I'm not sure it's going to be in public. I've not tried to check that, but most likely it's coming from that commission, an agency of government, as a way of making additional revenue for government. My suspicion, anyway.
So what does this mean now? If this is the case, I don't know how impactful will this one-day strike be at a time like this? Do you foresee it being extended? Do you foresee a response from the authorities?
We are protesting, and when they strike like this and clearing process is reduced, so the clearing process is slowed down and congestion happens, pressure will be on the government to ensure the issue is resolved. That's basically the tactic. So if they give warning strike and the government did not and decide to do down to completely, usually because of the pressure, because of the uproar, it will get the presidency, question will be asked, and then something will be done about it. So it seems to be a tool that a lot of agencies and people use in Nigeria to be able to is looking for a way of getting revenue. I'm not sure this will be an avenue, because considering the fact that, we already have a very high level of inflation in the country, and I don't know, it's for me, the rationale, I feel it's going to be, I'm not sure it's going to be custom issue. I think it's more on the part of the National Automobile Council or Commission, who is supposed to help to resolve this matter. But now that they're going on strike, maybe they can now come to the table and probably find a way to reduce it. I'm not sure if they will be completely able to eliminate it.
Well, what are your overall thoughts on, I mean, bringing vehicles into the country? The recent trends we've been hearing. I know the last year, sometime last year, the finance minister did say 40% of vehicles brought into the country, either used or fairly used, are stolen. What are your thoughts on the controls that have been put into place? I know that there is the Customs Service introduced the VIN vehicles for valuation in January, sometime last year. Is all of that working?
Yes, and then there are a lot of initiatives coming, like the VIN, for example, which is supposed to not just capture the payment of duties, even registration of the vehicle, tracing of the vehicle. Now, but I think we should really, which is why people are talking about the fact that we really need to look inward to see what we can do locally, because we do a lot of importation of these vehicles. So why don't we, government, support local production in a way that it can be affordable for the people, rather than really looking so much at the important vehicles and the money we're generating from it. So I feel the focus really should be considering the fact that this is a very heavy market for this kind of product. Government can still be able to generate a lot of revenue from registration of vehicle and a number of other fees getting from people that have vehicle in Nigeria, and even for the sales and the VAT on the sales. So I think the support should be towards supporting local production and productive capacity in order to be able to ensure that we enjoy the benefit of our population that we have done locally, rather than seeing how we can generate revenue from import.
But finally,
we have also a way of discouraging import.
Well, I guess we'll see. Just we have less than 60 seconds left. We had an automotive policy 6-7 years ago that was launched with a lot of pomp and pageantry and all of that. I mean, where is that?
Implementation has been very, very slow. Implementation has been very, very slow, and that's why we're having this issue.